What if the United States had never become a republic? What if, instead of electing presidents, Americans lived under the rule of a king? It sounds like pure fantasy, but history shows it almost happened. In 1783, as the Revolutionary War came to an end, America stood at a crossroads. The colonies had won independence from Britain, but the question was, what kind of government would replace it? Some leaders feared democracy was too unstable. Others dreamed of a monarchy. And at the center of it all stood George Washington. Washington was admired like no other. He was the general who had led the colonies to victory. In the chaos that followed, there were whispers. Perhaps America should crown him king. A formal offer was even made by some officers in what became known as the Newburgh Conspiracy. But Washington shocked everyone. He refused. To him, America's strength would come from liberty, not a crown. But imagine, for a moment, that he had accepted. The United States of America would have been born not as a democracy, but as a constitutional monarchy. The Revolutionary War would still have been fought, but the dream of self-rule would have been replaced by royal rule. King George I of America, Washington's royal title, might have ruled from a grand palace in New York or Philadelphia. The Constitution would look very different, granting power to the crown while a parliament of nobles managed lawmaking. Instead of presidents serving coins and dollar bills would carry the face of each king, and passing the throne to his heirs. From schools to military uniforms. In the 19th century, America's monarchs might have shaped expansion and fast forward to today. Dangerous. Instead of the White House, the Louisiana Purchase, Palace, possibly State a royal of the Union addresses would be replaced by king speeches carried out under banners bearing a golden crown. Campaigns and wars non-existent, like the Civil War. Instead, could have been power even bloodier bloodlines, as rival royal factions might not decide leadership. American flags would bear not just stars and stripes, much like in Britain, but the royal crest. Some argue this system could bring stability. No bitter elections, no constant political gridlock. But others say it would limit freedom, concentrating too much power in one family. In a monarchy, the wrong king could mean decades of poor leadership without a vote to remove them. In the end, Washington's refusal to take the crown shaped the very identity of America. He walked away from absolute power, and in doing so, set the standard for every leader who followed. The United States became a nation where the people, not a monarch, held the ultimate authority. So, what if America had a king instead of a president? We might live under gilded halls and royal decrees. Or we might have fought another revolution to reclaim democracy. History, as always, is a fragile thread. One choice, one decision, can change everything. Imagine waking up in an America where every coin in your pocket bears the face of a king, where State of the Union addresses happen in a glittering throne room, and the word president never existed. But this isn't just fantasy. In 1782, it almost happened. And if it had, America's entire history would look nothing like the one we know. After the Revolutionary War, George Washington was the most respected man in the new nation. Some believe the only way to keep America from falling into chaos was to crown him king. It wasn't a wild suggestion. Nations without monarchs were rare, and democracy was considered fragile, even dangerous. In a candlelit room, Washington listened to the proposal. He knew what kings meant to the American people: tyranny, taxes, and the very oppression they had just fought against. With quiet authority, he refused the crown.